Hi, this is Kimberly from Are You Awakening, and I'm here with a quick video for you about how to discover your beliefs using stock photo sites. If you know me, you know I'm pretty technical as well as spiritual. I was given that gene, whatever that means, and so I like to use the computer and technology for spiritual development. So this is one way to do it. All you need is an internet connection. Everything else is free. So let's talk about what beliefs are, because beliefs are tricky things. And everyone says, well, what are your beliefs on this? When you know, if your mind gets involved, your mind's going to say, well, but a lot of times your mind is just shooting stuff out because your ego is there saying, yeah, I'm going to protect me, and so I'm going to take that big old stand with my shield and my sword, and nobody's going to change my opinion on something, when you may think something completely different under the surface. So what this video is created for you for is to see what really is under the surface, despite what you tell people about how you feel, because there can be very different things. So some of the things we could research today, I just put a few of them up here because there's so many. I just pulled up ideas of love, ideas of wealth and family. Religion's a huge one because, a lot of that programming is still in you, my friend, even if you think it's not. So using this technique will allow you to discover what programs still run in your background. So we'll start by going to a stock site, and there's plenty of them out there. You can use any one you want. I chose pexels.com because it's free and I don't know anybody on there, meaning that the photos aren't of people that I know, so I don't have that connection. And so we'll type in a term, and let's see, the first one I typed in was love, and that one's huge because not just are you dealing with whether you have a partner or not, but it's also self-love. It's also abandonment issues. So many things can be addressed when you type in love and look at the results. And love can be a bunch of things. It could be a love for food. It could be a love between children. I mean, there's so many kinds of love. You have a belief system about what love is, and it may be running in your background and you really don't know what that belief system is. So when we scroll around on this love one, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff there. Not just people kissing, but there's, the heart, and there's sunlight, and there's so many images here that can bring something up in you. So I want you to take a look at them. And also the next frame that I did, also love, and totally different images here where you're like, oh, ooh. So you see happy couples in there. Everything is perfect. And what does that bring up in you? So for me, I know I did this a couple of years ago when things weren't as pretty for me. Had just been what I would call back then abandoned by my husband, and I would look at photos like this and be like, oh, another freaking happy couple, awesome, whatever. And that was when I saw it in the real world, I'm like, oh, okay, here's a belief system coming up for me. Now, a couple of years later, after I've worked on myself a little bit, and promise it does not take that long for you guys. You guys got a much better energy than I did at that time. So now I look at those photos and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I'm so happy for them. They deserve the best. So look at the photos. Ask yourself how you feel. Do this alone. Do not do this in a crowd. Don't do it in Starbucks unless you really want to be okay with whatever emotion comes out of you. Just a hint. Yeah, stay home. Lock yourself in. Turn on music if you want, whatever. But, try and do this at home. So The next one is wealth that I pulled up, and wealth will bring up issues of abundance. It will bring issues up of safety and survival, all of those things. So here I see the Ferrari sign, and I see rich people doing rich things. And what does that bring up? 2 years ago, again, it would have brought up something a little bit different than it brings up now for me. And I'm sure that you will have some idea of abundance based on scrolling through some photos that talk about wealth. You'll see pictures of money, and you'll have to ask yourself, okay, what's my relationship with money? And so the key here is not necessarily just to note with your mind what's going on. Feel it. Feel it. Feel what it would be like if you were in that car. What does that excite you? You'd be like, yeah, man. Yeah, I got 750 horsepower. Or would it say, I'll never get a car like that. All right. Feel that. That's what's going on under the surface. So this is a way to discover yourself. I did look up crying men, and it's funny that stock sites don't have any. They just have men really like cartoon crying, which is a huge red flag in our society, but I'm sure you know that by now. Then I always pull up kittens because, oh my gosh, they make me cry every time. So what? Why? Exactly, right? It's going to be different for everyone. Kittens for me, it's just like adorable joy, and that's a cool thing to bring up in myself, especially after looking at some photos that might not have been so happy for me. And then you always, this is a rule, universal law. You have to look at baby goats before you're done. You have to, because baby goats are the essence of joy. It's not really a law, you know that, but it's a good way to end any session that you have, that you're understanding that, yeah, you were pulling some things out, and you can bring your vibration back up to that of joy and excitement, and not manifest anything bad from this technique. That's important, because that's another belief system a lot of people have. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna manifest this awful stuff if I sit here and look at these photos. And that does not have to be the case. You can bring your energy back up by looking at images that really help you laugh and enjoy life. And then you leave it at that. Okay, so hopefully this helps you, and have some good quiet time by yourself, and take a look at how you feel about things. And if you have any questions, you can always reach us on Twitter at Are You Awakening, or areyouawakening.com. Until next time, don't forget, always be you, all the time. Love.